Alright, welcome back. Let's do the second of our 3 ornaments. I'm just prepping up some, what is that, 7mm here. I'm going to make a loop out of that. Just heating up the end, run the heat down it a little ways, begin assisting it over if you want. You can just use gravity, but this saves a little time. Bend it back onto itself. It'll touch, and we'll really superheat that point, and we'll use that octagonal brass reaming tool to keep that hole open and centered. And that will become the loop for the top of our ornament. By making it first, we'll have one just ready to go, and it'll weld on very nice and clean and symmetrical to the top of the ornament. Whereas waiting and putting a big gob of glass on top and pulling it up and trying to loop it around and cut that loop off and make it nice and clean, I think that is less efficient. There we go. Put that punty on there and then cut off that handle. A lot of times that what I'm using clear now to make that would be something more ornate, some kind of spiral design, some kind of really nice material to work with, like twisted dichro or something. And then your loops are really special. So rounding it up again, and I've still got that little gather of glass there, the lump on the one side, and that'll assist me with welding it on to the top by having that little extra bit of glass there. So we'll pull out our made up blank with the handle on it, and we'll weld up a punty using a little bit of 4mm there. Get the green nice and hot, weld the two together for a temporary hold. So that just means we're leaving an acute angle between the 4mm and the green 1-inch tubing. And I'm going to divide that blank or that handle into 2, and we'll make the ornament out of the piece on the left. But that means we'll have 2 of these blanks. The next ornament will already have a handle attached to it, and in most cases most people can handle that much 1-inch tube in their hands without tiring. Okay, dividing that into 2 on the Lampworking tool. That's helping to cool it, chill it a little bit, and really define that line between the 2. So begin applying some heat and working it down to the other end. We're going to taper this out and make it a long, thinner piece. There we go. And I am using the blow hose to gently blow out on it where it comes up against the back plate on the arrowhead marver. Leaves a really straight surface from blowing and rotating. So everything comes out nice and symmetrical and with clean lines. So we'll move over and apply a bunch of heat in here where we're going to elongate that bottom piece that's going to have the 2 Marias or Saturn rings. And again, we'll use the edge of the Lampworking tool to kind of make that third point. There's one on my left hand, one on my right. Now it's touching in the middle. So it helps by rotating this through and keeping it really straight and not from having any kind of a cranking offset. Now, right there, I admit it, my little punty just popped off on me. I did not weld it up quite well enough. So always be ready for that. Just go with the flow. Heat my punty back up, heat up that end, reattach it a little more securely this time because I wasn't done with it. There we go. Saturn rings on that. Just a little bit of heat. You can do a Saturn ring without a blow hose, just through heating it up and compressing it a little bit at the right time. But with the blow hose, it's just so much easier. Now you barely puff on it, but it does help to get that little Maria started right. And another one, not quite as big. So now we'll be looking at making the larger section, that glass that we've reserved over there in the center of the bulbous area, for making the ball section of the ornament. Grab a little paddle. These are wood. They're soaked in water. They produce a nice steam when you rotate the glass on them. They actually smell really nice in the shop when you're putting hot glass onto it and it comes up in the steam. It's quite pleasant. Put a lot of heat into that, condense it up a bit. We'll get it condensed together and get the wall thickness built up and ready for blowing. And so here we go. Start rotating it, buffing it out a little bit, and as it begins to get round, I'll drop it down onto the marble mold and continue rotating it. That'll just help chill it and contour the outer surface into a very round shape. Nice and simple. It's a good transparent green. I like this color. It's been very reliable. No problems with coefficiency issues. Paddle back in the water, and let's see here. We need to put a loop on this thing. Fortunately, we have one ready to go. We're very quick to apply that now. If this was a much more complicated piece, you'd really not want to keep it out of the flame any longer than you need to. And having your loop ready will save you a few moments. There we go. Nice weld on there. And then we'll drop that hot area onto the marvering pad and continue rotating. It'll just help cool it and delineate those areas, give a nice shoulder to the top of the ornament and the bottom of the loop. Nice and straight. That'll do for hanging on a tree or anywhere. Usually these wind up in windows. Okay, fire polish the end of the loop. And get a set of claws. Warm them up a little bit. Claw up to that. And cut it off down there. And again, we don't want to have a large surface area of hot glass as that's cooling inside. Draw it down to a very fine point with a very small hole. Let it cool a little bit and then cut it off so as to avoid the cooling air inside sucking the hot glass in and making an odd shape and creating a problem with having a sealed vessel. There we go. Clean up the other one a little bit, put it back in the kiln for the next one. And there's our ornament. This can easily be put down into vermiculite and it will survive just fine. Those were very simple operations on it that did not impart much stress. You can anneal them as much as you want. I would be careful not to over anneal such a long, thin, delicate piece as to warp and anyway, that was fun. I always enjoy doing those. Look forward to making more, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.